of Area 03, was one of the evaluation finalists in division level as well. So please welcome Sinduja Nanduri.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. A very good evening to everyone present here. Today, I'll be one of the evaluators. The speaker today, who I'm going to evaluate, is attempting her level 2, project 2, that is understanding your communication style. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and to identify his or her primary style. The purpose also entails that the member share an impact of his or her style on others. I'll be evaluating the member on various parameters like the speech structure, vocal variety, body language, gestures, audience engagement, even though it is very difficult on an online meeting. And I'll be presenting my report when the gender evaluator calls me on stage towards the end of the meeting. All the best to the speaker. Back to the Toastmaster.
All right, thank you, evaluator. So without any further ado, let's just call the first speaker, Pipit Andriani. 5 to 7 minutes. The screen is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to make casting a vote compulsory. Why? Because there are so many people in this world have to fight for this right. They have to stand under the sun. They have to stand under the rain. They also have to stand under the bullets sometimes so they can cast a vote. So when we have this right, we do not take it for granted. We have to make casting a vote compulsory. Oh wait, where am I? Oh, I'm in Toastmasters meeting. Sorry, I thought I was in a debate tournament just now. Sorry, wrong Zoom meeting. Okay, so maybe, ladies and gentlemen, you can guess that my background is a debater. So years and years before I joined Toastmasters in 2010, the only public speaking format that I knew was debate. So you can imagine in 2010, when I delivered my first speaker, Icebreaker, it sounded like an ear breaker because I sounded like an angry person all the time. You can forget about the vocal variety, the body language, low pitch, high pitch, tone. The only tone I know was just one, fighting tone, okay? But then thankfully, Toastmasters introduced me to other type of public speaking, which is the normal one. I remember very clearly my first mentor in Toastmasters, Pak Boy Henry. He's now the manager of Prambors FM in Jakarta. He told me, Pipit, relax. In Toastmasters, it is safe to make mistakes. You can allow yourself to be vulnerable. No one is trying to attack you here. I'm thinking to myself, probably that's right, that makes sense. I don't have to be defensive all the time in public speaking. That is one of the most precious lessons that I learned from Toastmasters. Another thing that I learned from Toastmasters is I believe in the necessity to compromise. Now, all my life, there are so many people who told me, do not compromise, never split the difference in business and whatever it is that you're doing, do not split the difference, do not compromise. You have to stand your ground and yada, yada, yada. But then in Toastmasters, I learned that actually, probably you're right. You don't need to compromise, you have nothing to lose. But actually, when you don't compromise, you have nothing to lose but yourself. Now, I have a personal story, and it's very strongly related to Magical Bali. So we know that Magical Bali Toastmasters Club is a strong club today. But many of you probably did not know that in 2015, Magical Bali Toastmasters Club was not like this. So in July 2015, Magical Bali Toastmasters Club only had 9 members, okay? And then out of these 9, 3 members resigned. So by October, they only had 6 members. How do I know this? Well, I was the division director at that time, so I checked memberships. And then in October, we were about to have division contest. And there was this girl called Natalie Jadi, whatever that name. Her last name was a hell to pronounce, okay? I didn't know who she was, but I knew that she was going to represent Magical Bali to compete in division contest. But I knew that she was not allowed to compete because she only had 6 members in her club. So one of the requirements is you at least have to have 8 members in your club to be able to compete. So as a division director at that time, I had 2 options. The first option was I can call Natalie without knowing who she was. We never met before. Hello, Natalie. My name is Pipit. I'm a division director. Sorry, you cannot compete at the division level because there's nothing I can do. You're not, your club doesn't meet the requirement. Sorry, bye. I can do that. But I have the second option. I can choose to compromise. Okay, I didn't know anyone from Magical Bali at that time. I didn't know what challenges this club is facing. So probably this is a good chance to get to know one of them to find out what is happening actually, right? So yes, Natalie didn't even know she wasn't allowed to compete. She came to Surabaya. And then in my heart, I was like, maybe she wouldn't win anyway, right? But then guess what? She won the division contest. And I'm like, screw. Now I have to tell her the bad news that she was going to be competing in the district level. What am I going to do? So this is what I said to her. Hi, Natalie. My name is Pipit. Nice to meet you. Do you want to have some lunch with me? When? Right now. And she was like, okay. I must have sounded really like a freak that time, but I don't care. But then during this lunch, then I found out that actually she was in the middle of a burnout because she was supposed to be a secretary in her club, but she was forced to be VPE as well at the same time because the VPE resigned. And she planned to resign herself in 2 months. And I was like, that's even worse, right? So, but then this lunch happened to be probably the most productive lunch I've ever had because by the end of this lunch, she said, you know what, Pit? I'm going to hold on as a VPE until next year, and I will call old members so they can come back. And I will share you what happened 6 months after that. So, Magical Bali, in July, they had 9 members. In October, became 6. And in May, became 23, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine that? So this is really a hard work that was done by Magical Bali. That's why I really believe that we really have to compromise because there are so many factors that make Magical Bali flourish like this right now. But a little bit factor that at least in my end that I contribute is that I was able to compromise. And I hope you can do that too because there's nothing to lose but yourself. Thank you.
Woohoo! That was a great speech. I was carried on. I got carried on with the opening, and it was really energetic. And thank you for sharing some history about Magical Bali that I've never heard before. So yeah, that's good, Pipit. And move on. I'd like to call the evaluator for the next speaker. Well, she is a serial guest of Magical Bali Toastmaster. Maybe some of you can already guess who she is. She is a pentalingual, or speaks in 5 languages. Those are English, Chinese, Malay, Japanese, and sign language. So everybody, please welcome Ferry Funi. Yeah.
Thank you, Aji. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I am very honored, excited, and challenged to be evaluating our district evaluation winner, Bhavesh Kapal. Bhavesh is doing his persuasive influence pathway Level 5, Project 1. On his second speech. The purpose of his speech is to present an engaging speech to share his experience on completing his project. Bhavesh, you have 5 to 7 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome Bhavesh Kapal, SS. SS Bhavesh Kapal.